Swells Barbells Podcast, episode 1, baby.
Let's go.
And why Swells Barbells and not Salt Fitness Project?
That's a great question. When we had to come up with our LLC, we were really in a time crunch. And if you sent out a name that was already taken, it would take a couple of days to come back, and everything happened so fast that we really had to come up with something
on the fly and quick.
On the fly and quick.
It was on your back. It was in your backyard, is where it happened.
Yep.
So like even before we even got to that, like we had to, right? It was a phone call. It was a conversation. A deal was on the table within a few weeks, and then it was like in your backyard. And now we're here making a decision. We'll get back to all that, how we got there.
Yeah,
but just
the gears had to turn, and we needed a name right away for our LLC, and we didn't have time to go back and forth. So it needed to be something unique. We're both in the surf world. Yeah. We're both in the fitness world. It was Swells and Barbells. Like
I remember when you said that.
First thing out of my mouth.
That's it. Yes. Swells and Barbells, baby.
Write it down.
Yeah. I remember you writing that down too, and I was like, "Oh, that feels so good."
Yeah,
that's definitely who we are.
Yeah. So
and then
this is the Swells and Barbells Podcast now.
Swells and Barbells Podcast, right? So yeah, that's the LLC. Salt Fitness Project came well after that. That was like a few weeks of thinking about it, what we wanted to call it. Salt was started Salt and Salt Fitness, and then it was like a combined thing where Salt Fitness Project came in to birth, and there was a lot of people that had a part to play in that too.
Yeah, people played a role in that.
You know?
It came out really nice. I was super happy with it.
I remember when Salt Fitness Project was pitched, you sent it over a text, and I was at home, and I was like, "That's it.
Yeah,
that's it."
Yeah.
So we're here. Salt Fitness Project is alive. We are survived our first year and a half at this point. The first year and a half, holy heck, that was a hell of a ride. But even before that, like where we started from, when we first walked into a CrossFit gym, JSA, like at no point in my life did I ever envision like owning the CrossFit gym or even being a coach in a CrossFit gym, let alone being here with you.
Yeah, there was a time where I wanted nothing to do with CrossFit at all. And life works in funny ways. And here we are.
Right. So like for us, like drawing this whole picture to like get into how we got to this point right now, literally sitting in front of a camera doing a podcast, which we've never done before, by the way.
Also a first.
This has been 2 years worth of firsts, right? So like the first time I ever walked into a CrossFit gym was 2016, 15. I was in Arizona, the first workout I ever did. And I can still remember the workout. It was a 400-meter run. It was 10 ring rows, 10 pull-ups, 10 ab-mat sit-ups. So it was a very simple, it wasn't a crazy workout, But I never lifted before in my life. I only was a runner, had a runner background. I remember doing that workout, and I was completely smoked, like donezo. And I remember getting home, and everybody was going out to dinner that night, and I sat on the couch. I had the runner runs. So like in running, you get like the runs, your stomach's all like, so you're sitting on the bowl all day. So it's called the runner runs. So I had those.
I wouldn't know. I never run.
But I remember that was like, this is what I was looking for. Like this was an outlet that I was missing in life for me. And then getting home and just being like, first rule about CrossFit. It's the Fight Club rule.
Yeah.
Tell everybody you're doing it.
Everybody
Tell everybody you're doing it. Which is like how we got involved, because we were working together, and that was. Had you lifted prior to this?
I had just started. I had maybe a year worth of lifting weights, and I wanted nothing to do with CrossFit, but my conditioning was terrible.
Yes,
so bad. So you were the one like egging me on to walk through these very doors for the first time. Like, come do CrossFit. I'm like, I don't want to CrossFit, man. And then I walked in the first day. It was during the open, like CrossFit.
Oh, no way. Oh, wow.
So I'm at the whiteboard, and you guys are basically speaking Mandarin. I'm like, I don't know what is happening here. But there's 30 people in the gym. Like, everyone was super, super nice. It was such a vibe.
Yeah.
And that's what hooked me right away. Like, all different kinds of people, all different levels of athletics. I had no idea what I was doing. And I just felt at home immediately. Yeah. And that really, that changed everything.
It does. And that's so common for, the precursor to getting involved, right? Is most of the time it's, somebody pulling you in here, right? Most of that's done through word of mouth because it was from Pat, Ty, and Allie that they were going here. And then when I got back, it was like, they offered a ride, blah, 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 get me in here. And then, that whole community vibe that you touched on where it was like, common theme in my life, or most of us, where it's like it's fear of joining something because like you have zero experience, you're going to be exposed. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is a community of people that they all know what they're doing and they're all way better at it than me.
Yes.
It's like paddling out into the lineup for the first time and I don't know how to surf. Right. Like horrible feeling. I've been there. But it's completely it was not the case here. I'm sure that's different in a lot of other places, but what I really appreciated and hooked me with, the first time we came here in JSA, when I speak about here, was the immediate camaraderie that there was, the coaching, right, where you immediately felt like, all right, somebody is going to be looking out for me and teaching me along the way. We also had like a very good like beginner's approach, or they had a very good beginner's approach, which is what we carried over here, which is, we're going to start everything with like a ground up level, from how we're speaking behind the whiteboard to how we're literally teaching progressions, right? Like today we did power cleans, and neither of us how many people have done power clean in their entire life if they ever lifted? Like no. So you come in here like, what am I doing? I'm definitely not going to do it right. But just from how they coached, right, you're building everything from the ground up. So it breaks the barrier of entry way down. Plus you realize not everybody's staring at you. And then you're in your own world. Everybody's in their own hurt locker when they're doing
Everyone's lost in the sauce. No one cares.
No. So then, workout goes on, poof, it's over with, high five. It's like an endorphin rush, right? I worked out, I did a bunch of things I've never done before in my entire life. I feel great. And there's a bunch of people, the energy that gym held. It
was, at the time, it was really like a special place. And that's what drew me. It just felt like a special place.
Yeah, we went from being never lifting in our entire life, really. I came from a running background. You were just, what background do you have? Nothing.
I just surfed. That's all I did. I just surfed. I didn't do anything. I was small in high school. I didn't really play any organized sports. My brothers were freak athletes, so I couldn't even keep up with those guys. So I ended up doing my own thing. I ended up surfing and skateboarding, and I thought that, that's how I'll stay in shape.
Yeah.
Not the case.
Being from where we were then, right? So that was, when did we join? It was like 2016-ish?
Yeah, right around
2015, 2016?
Coming on 10 years.
10 years? Yeah, crazy, dude. 10-year span, right? And then just looking back on how like we both got involved at that time frame, from where you had that long shaggy hair going.
Oh yeah. Long shaggy hair, weighed 160 pounds with a brick in my pocket. Like,
you remember when you had the mustache?
Oh yeah.
I miss the mustache. Are you ever going to bring that back?
I would love to. I don't know that my wife would. I would love to.
Do you remember when we were working the one night and it was like maybe like a spring day, and you had like, you like to wear the the button downs.
Sure.
The floor button downs. They look nice. You look dapper in them. You had the mustache going, the long hair.
Oh, I know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Dude.
So we're he's tough. Like working on the floor.
Tough.
Working on the floor, right? Not lifting, not doing anything. Passes a table that I'm waiting, right? And the guy looks up at me and then looks back and goes, "Who hired Weird Al?"
Yeah, that was bad.
And then it wasn't too long after that mustache got shaved, and then you started getting jacked in the gym. Weird Al, no mustache.
The hair went too. The hair went with it.
You should grow the mustache back though. One time.
They might.
So that's like where we initially came from, which is great to talk about as now we own the gym, which is crazy to think about.
And it's still kind of surreal, honestly. Right? I just loved that. I loved that gym so much.
Yeah.
That when the opportunity came, I was just pretty gung-ho. I was like, we have to try. We have to try.
And that whole opportunity coming to play was really it was quick. It was in a hurry. It fell into the lap. It was nothing we were seeking.
No.
Right?
It was pretty organic, kind of timing and karma and a lot of stuff.
A lot of weird stuff came to play because at that time, right, for me, I was working in the restaurant forever with you, and then I had peeled off to go to PA, work at Jersey Mike's. Yeah. That was a heck of an experience. And then came back home, worked at the restaurant again, then was looking to go on board with, Tommy over at J Mike's over in Princeton.
Yeah.
And they hired me. And I remember calling you being like, I'm not going back to the box this year. And then you had some choice words to say about
I was pretty upset about it.
Yeah.
I was pretty upset about it.
But crazy span of events that happened from that was, at least for me, there was never an attention. I heard whispers of, the gym potentially being up for sale, but nothing was concrete. And at that point, it was, there was plenty of other people that were like, hey, in the whispers of going to possibly be taking it over.
Yeah.
So then I got the job with them, but I was on a 2-week holding period because I couldn't do anything because they had some stuff that they had loose ends that they needed to tie. 2 weeks turned into 3 weeks, 3 weeks turned into a month. It was going to be March at that point. So I'm just like, well, I might as well just go back to work.
Yeah.
If I'm not picking this job up, everything was just a verbal, agreement anyways. There was no written contract signed. And I was waiting to have that meeting. And a week, he called me and he goes, hey, next week, I need you to come in. On Monday, we'll meet at like wherever store and we'll get everything dialed in. And then he was like, hey, I got to push that to Friday. And it was on that Monday where I came here and you had initially were already like, I'm seriously considering taking this opportunity, right? Whatever happened from your end.
Yeah, I just heard. And once COVID passed, I ended up building the gym in my garage and I left.
We didn't even talk about that.
We'll get there. I was doing my own thing, but then I had heard that there was potentially that the owners were getting ready to retire.
Yeah.
And I literally just walked in the door. And I was right. to talk to Skip and Paige, and I was like, I know there might be an offer on the table. I know you guys are trying to get out. I would love the opportunity.
How did that conversation go? How did you feel going into that? How was that received?
Dude, I was super nervous. I hadn't seen Skip in a couple of years. Like I had left the gym like right after COVID. Like after we survived COVID, the gym survived COVID, and they started building back up. They were open indoors.
Yeah.
I kind of peeled off and did my own thing. So I was out of the mix 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So I was super, super nervous. And Skip's an intense guy. He's super nice, but he's intense.
Yeah.
And I didn't want him to think like his business was aired out in public like that. Like I would know.
For sure. Oh yeah, dude. I didn't think of that.
So it was weird. I was like, I was not super comfortable going in, but I had to shoot. I had to take the shot. And
shoot your shot, baby.
He was super nice and he's super welcoming. And he's like, well, you've given me a lot to think about. Like, keep in touch. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So then like a month would go by, I hadn't heard. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm still here. Like,
yeah. And
then I reached out to you. I was like, I really want to do this thing. I can't do it alone. I really need a partner. And you were dead silent. And I was like,
you're giving me nothing.
I was like, okay. And then you left. I was like, I'm on my own. And then maybe a week or two goes by, and I guess you were driving through town or whatever you're doing. It's like, can I come over?
Yeah. I remember that phone call.
I know. I was like, yeah, come on over. And you said it. You were like, I'm in 50-50. Let's go do this thing. And I was like, okay, I got my guy.
Yeah.
I got my guy. So then I went back to Skip again. I was like, hey, listen, I know I just want to stay on your radar. I found a business partner. You happen to know him. You happen to like him. It's Kyle. And then it went our way.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. And I remember like that time frame leading up to that because it was you were going in there. The reason why I never gave you an answer was because I was still on the hook over there, and like I'm not really one to say, hey, I'm going to do this, and then sorry, I'm not. And it really just kept getting pushed week by week by week by week. And then it was coming up on the season where I had to make a decision if I was going to go back over, to the restaurant or not. And they just pushed again for another week. And I remember coming to the gym, working out. And at that time, there was a uncertainty of kind of what was happening. There was a lot of like, hey, things might be sold, but nothing's really getting put out there yet.
Yeah.
And we're just finishing the workout. And at a point where I was at in my life, it was, I went all in on the last venture, like all in, moved my life, worked 80 to 90 hours a week to really start from zero, to having no experience, to being able to, run a whole territory, right? Had no training on that one, messed it up a bunch of times, ended up doing well, and then got showed the door. Essentially the company was absolved and they just were like, hey, we're selling, we're getting rid of everybody. So it was a big, like, here's the train, getting on it, I'm like, I'm doing well in life for the first time. Boom, there's the door. And it's like, what's right back where I started, So I was playing that tape through. I'm just like, I didn't really, not that I didn't enjoy what I was doing, but like the workload was crazy.
Yeah.
When I was never home, and Bree and I had just gotten married and we never saw each other, and the relationship, we never had a bad one, but we was just absent.
Yeah.
It was absent. you know? And racking your brain, I was sitting on a couch for a while just being like, what do I want the rest of my life to look like? It's a weird question to ask, you know? Like, I don't know, but I know what I don't want to do anymore.
Yeah.
And that really started checking those boxes of the things I don't want to do. The best way to realize what you don't want to do or what you want to do is do things that you realize, hey, I don't want to do this, and see it through fully. So I was at that point, and then I was like, I'm really just hunting a paycheck.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing in life is hunting a paycheck. And I know that there's a lot more passion, drive, and ability to do other things. What it's going to be, it's taking a risk. And that's what this was. It's a massive risk.
Yeah.
No idea what this place is going to turn profit-wise. I don't know. I've never ran a gym before, And there was a night I slept on. I woke up the next day from the gym, right? Came to the gym, worked out that day. And it was just like, it hit me like a sack of bricks. It was like, just shoot the shot. What do you got to lose?
Yeah.
What do you got to lose? Yeah. I remember calling you up and be like, I need to come over right now. Right now. And I'm like, I want it. I don't care who else you're thinking of. It's me. And yeah, man. And then we were on our way. And it happened like very quickly after that.
Yeah, it felt like for the first few months, it was kind of nothing. And there was an avalanche of things that we had to accomplish.
I know.
It was something else.
Yeah.
Something else.
And I've never started a business before. Not from scratch. No idea.
Yeah.
So it's just me and you in the backyard. Swells and Barbells, excited about it.
Yeah.
And then, but there's a whole bunch that happened prior to even getting to that so you brought it up before, like the garage workouts.
Yep. The COVID garage workouts.
What a time in our life that was.
Yeah, that was, it was perfect. Like it was just what it needed to be. And it taught me that I can do this. Like I can teach people. Like this is what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to teach people.
You have that background to begin with, though.
Yeah. I come from an education background. And it's really what I've always done, and I just love doing it. And I never thought that teaching in a gym setting would even be on the table. Let alone where we're at now. So it started in the garage. Like before we had any equipment. Before we had any equipment at all, I used to own that tiny little Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh my God.
The 70s Volkswagen Beetle.
The little surf mobile.
Yeah, so outside the driveway and outside the garage was this long driveway. So you'd hop in the driver's seat and I would sled push the Volkswagen down the driveway. Then I'd hop in the driver's seat. You'd sled push the Volkswagen.
And we had to hop in the driver's seat so you can drive the thing.
Yeah, because the driveway was kind of weird and then you had to throw the brakes on.
Yeah. Remember the big oil stain that was in there too? You had the carpet,
had to pull it out every single time.
You didn't have mats in there yet.
No.
But you did have, I think you had the rig. Do you even have the rig at that point?
The rig didn't come until like maybe another
squat rack?
Yeah, another month or two after that. And then slowly just started piecing it together. And then before you knew it, I had a little mini gym in the garage.
And that was a perfect little mini gym. It was literally like a prison cell. There's no bigger than that.
No.
But we fit in, there were like 3 to 4 people.
Yeah.
And it's not a lot, but it is a lot for a small space, especially when it's just a couple guys working out.
Yeah, you got to still figure it out. You still got to make the programming. We were doing lifts and a lot like what we're doing right now.
No, I know. I got back from PA. It was when I moved back home. And I remember I didn't lift really at all. I went to a CrossFit gym out there, and I always compared everything back to JSA.
Yeah.
Everything that was the gold
benchmark.
standard.
Yeah,
it really was. And I remember going to that gym over there, and like there was no electricity, there was no connection, the coaching wasn't great. Like, I'm not knocking the gym, but it was just like there was a lot of things where I was new, and as a newcomer, especially how we treat everybody in here, how we want to treat everybody in here is like a very welcoming and like tag team effort, not only with ourselves, but the community. And that was a missing component. So I worked out there for probably 2 months, and I was just like, I stopped going, not because I didn't want to work out anymore, just because I'm like, hey, I just do this in where I was living, and just I'll have a solo venture at home if it's going to be a solo venture here. So anyways, I remember getting back home, and one of the first things I did was, I remember hitting you up, and we're like, I want to work out together again. And it was a deadlift day. Yeah. And just pulling those deadlifts, right? Whatever the hell the weight was, but just the energy we had together that's what I was missing.
Yeah.
And that was such that little gym did it.
Yeah. You can't quantify vibes. You can't put it on paper what feeling is like. So like, sure, you could have the best equipment, you could have the world's best coaching and programming, but if it's not felt, it's just not going to stick. It's not going to feel like that. So that's always what I felt like we were always chasing. Like pushing each other and bringing other people into the fold too. It was cool.
It was my first butterfly pull-up I ever hit in your garage too.
Oh man, remember when you didn't have them?
Yeah, I mean, I was working on them for a while here at JSA, and then I came here and you were like, do this, and this. And I was like,
I remember.
For whatever reason, that just clicked.
I remember that day.
And that's really just from your, like, you have a good way of breaking things down to where it's not only comprehensible, but like it's tactile. Or like I can now jump on this and like start playing with it.
Thanks,
yeah. So, and that was a really cool moment for me because that was something I was chasing for a while.
Yeah.
You know, and then bringing in everybody else into the fold, right? Like Danny, Gilly, Brendan, you know,
Ben,
yeah,
it's good.
Brendan when he was an absolute rail and he never friggin' lifted his entire life.
Yep.
Wow, what a time! And then going from that to then, you know, what is it? We're next door, right? It was the announcements made. I'm just shit-eating grin on camera, just like you know, we're gonna be the new owners. And I'm looking at you be like, we're really gonna do this now?
Yeah.
And then it was really Murph.
Yep.
Murph, and then that was our first event, which you know Skip still had to run that. I was like. Eyes were this big, just like, what the heck am I even doing right now? And then starting to coach classes, and then immediately we're ripping the gym apart next door. Essentially, you did that. Yeah,
they doubled the rent and the space, and so we had to move to the front of the building, which honestly worked out better. This space is so much nicer with the windows.
Way better.
Nice space.
Way better.
It was, we had to move every single thing in here. It was, I don't know.
That was a heck of a, no pun intended, hell of a lift.
Yeah, wall had to come down.
A lot that happened, and it happened in a short amount of time, right? Because that was June 1st, I think, we started moving everything. We didn't stop. We didn't stop any classes.
We didn't cancel a single class.
Not one single class.
We moved the gym from there to in here and did this class. I don't even know how that was possible.
We were working out outside. This was the first day we worked out outside.
Yeah, since COVID.
All right, because we're moving everything in here. It was also one of my first days coaching. And
I know what happened.
Mary's 70-something years old. God bless Mary. And Mary's one of one.
Yeah.
And she would always break my hump every day. And we're going to move equipment outside, and everybody's inside, and you just hear like, help! And like my heart sinks. I run outside, and there's Mary bleeding all over the place. It's like,
hot start.
Oh man, this is a hot start. You just like fell, tripped over something, and like you know now here. Thankfully, this is one thing great about a CrossFit gym. There's so many walks of life in here. Yeah. There was 2 nurses on staff that day. They went in, just wrapped her right up, all
good to go.
And then, all right, now
hot start.
Skip goes, all right, now we got that out of the way. Let's start coaching everybody. Now you recovered from that one. I remember in the beginning too. It was. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't like that for you, but. It was such a new thing for me, right? I never coached before, you know. I never
coached a class before. I taught people how to do things, but like commanding a room,
way different,
totally different,
way different. I remember getting to the whiteboard and then just forgetting what a power clean was.
Yeah,
like I don't know what. It's so dumb, but like everything's just leaving my brain.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's just there's so much same thing. Where if you're just going to come in here for the first time, obviously everything's brand new. You know, but repetition is the way we get better at everything. But that was like, it was so apparent that I had no idea what I was doing. I knew what I was doing, but it just like, so I took your lead a lot with a lot of things in the beginning too, with your coaching style and just like, you know, the fake it till you make it saying, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, I've never really enjoyed that one because I never truly understood it, but you guys were great for me. You know, you, Skip, and a lot of the other coaches, because it was just like, even if I'm not fully confident in what we're doing next, I'm going to say it loud with authority and just, you know, if we're messing up, I'm messing up with confidence right now. And we're going to keep it pushing.
Yeah, I had the advantage of having the education background. And then I learned from Skip because he really is the best teacher.
He was a wizard.
Yeah, so anytime I took his class, for all those years, it just felt like I was his soldier. And then I got in front of the room and all of those things he had done over the years. It was just up here, just logged away, waiting to come out. So I leaned on a lot of what he did because he's just so good at teaching people how to move. And that's what I relied most on. It was like coming from Skip's background. He was so good at teaching.
I had the opposite effect. Where, that was it. But there was nothing up there waiting to come out. I was firing blanks. Nothing's coming out. And I remember there was one class where he's shadowing me, right? And he'd always give me great, you know, feedback afterwards. Cause I was like, just beat me up. Let me know everything I did bad. He goes, oh, I will. Okay, don't worry. And I remember like I went to go say something next and nothing was coming out. So it was like I was live on set, for a movie. I looked at him, I go, what's the next line?
Line, please.
Line, please. And it was on rope climbs. He goes, I'll take it over from here. I'm like, please, thank you. I'm drowning. But we had no other option. And honestly, everything in my life has been trial by fire. And it's been one of the best ways for me to adapt and learn because there is no safety net at that point. Not to say there wasn't here, but you're you're exposed. You're vulnerable.
Yeah, and now you have to figure it out.
Figure it out now in front of all these people that are looking at you.
Yeah, no one here to help you.
No.
Sometimes that's good impetus to get you to you got to go do what you got to do. Like,
yeah,
here it is. Sink or swim.
And that's really the moment it was. So that first, right? So now let's recount the first, now we moved everything over here, which by the way, I have a lot of those pictures that like I'll scroll back through from time to time where it looked horrendous in here.
Horrendous.
And then first off, we come in here, we hold our first coaches meeting, right? Like this place is still in freaking shambles. I am like confidence level here,
It's also like summer too, so we're also getting just crushed at the restaurant.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're fucking full time at the restaurant, and we're just getting destroyed. I don't know which end. So much is happening. There's no time for planning. There's just doing.
Yeah.
And you don't
just
even know what
survive
the next
the day,
yeah.
and then survive the week, survive 2 weeks, and that's really how it was for a while.
And it wasn't hostile, but it was tense. It was tense.
It was definitely
because
tense.
we didn't come. There was no prior back talk of like, hey, we're going to be the new gym owners. There's going to be a nice smooth transition. It was really like, hey, the gym is getting sold over to these guys, and
they start tomorrow.
There we go.
Yep. Off they go.
And it's like, even though like we're not strangers here, there's still like I'd only been seen by the 9 a.m. class.
Yeah.
I was
out of the mix for a few years.
Yeah. So who are they? What are you about?
Yeah.
And are you even qualified?
Right.
All valid points. You're not wrong.
Everyone's allowed to feel that way.
And I would have felt that way on the other end too, And that's honestly like where we were. Because I remember talking to a lot of the coaches and like they were like, obviously everybody's very supportive, but like you guys are going to need a lot of help. And yeah, you're right. We do.
Yeah.
We did.
We took a big swing.
Yeah. Couple misses here. Couple foul balls. Didn't hit our first, grounder until maybe a few months in, and that was a quick out.
Yeah.
But then we come in here and trying to get everybody together, trying to establish, a rhythm, some culture, a vibe, and there was very uncertain, and really again leaning on you when we were like doing all those meetings, and then we, there was, we talked to the coaches, and afterwards, like 2 coaches came up and they're like, hey, hand us like a pamphlet, if you will, and there's like manifesto. That's the word we're looking for. Word of the day. And it was pretty much just like, it was breezed over. It was just like, what was your account of it?
We finished the meeting.
Yeah.
We were then pulled into a side meeting where we were handed the manifesto, and then everyone left. So we were left with this packet.
Yeah.
And then everyone left. I thought the meeting went great.
I thought it was so.
Oh, cool. We're all on the same page.
Well, high fives.
Here's the plan. This is what we're going to do. We're going to start chipping away. And it felt like, okay, we're all on the same page. That's how it felt. And then we opened up the manifesto, and it wasn't super nice.
Definitely wasn't super nice.
It was not super nice. Essentially, it was like a list of demands on how things should be done, the things that have been lacking. Apparently there was discontent with previous ownership, and they didn't see eye to eye. And I'm not sure why we were handed the manifesto, because like I had nothing to do with it.
I just walked in. It's day one, baby.
Yeah,
first day here.
Yeah, and also we just discussed almost everything that's.
We went over everything
that's in this.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't a super warm welcome from.
Oh, it definitely wasn't a warm welcome
from some of the coaches.
Yeah, here. It felt like a stiff arm. Or just like there's distance here. Yeah. If you don't adhere to these like little,
it was a little blackmailish.
Yeah,
it was like a little bit of
And then, like, the thing that hit me hard was like, hey, there's people in my life. I have a smaller circle of people, that I keep close to me. If you start taking digs at those people, it's like, how do I not feel like this is a little personal, so let's have a conversation about that first. Like, please don't kick people that aren't here, and whatever happened before, but now here we are. We're literally just trying to start from scratch and build something that's bigger than ourselves. And it's not for us. It's for all of us.
Yeah.
And that was really one thing that I remember you talking about where it was just like, and I honestly felt this was like, we're here not because this is Kyle and Bryan's gym, Kyle and Bryan's way, Bryan and Kyle's way. Like, this is our gym.
This is all of us.
All of us. We're going to build this together.
The clients and athletes included.
This is one of the few businesses where, unlike, a standard like brick and mortar, you come in, you pay for a good or service, you get it, you leave. Everybody's a collective, almost shareholder of this place.
Yeah, it's an ecosystem.
It really is. So that was my whole vision going in here is like, how do we build this thing together and to where we want it to be, and to a place where obviously, we're all building it together, essentially where we're going to go. And that was pretty much like, hey, if you don't adhere to these, if you don't get this, and do all these things, it's like, dude, what do we do with this?
Yeah, and I tried taking the route I would normally take when there's conflict. Try not to react, all right? Take a deep breath, put it down.
I was a bulldog, baby.
I know you were, but...
and I'm glad you're different.
But then I was like, okay, put it back down. Just don't say anything. Don't react. Read it again tomorrow and then see how you feel.
Yeah.
And then I read it again tomorrow. It is not tomorrow.
and then it was tomorrow.
And then it was tomorrow. And I was even more mad than I was the first time. I'm like, all right, so now we have to talk about this, right?
Yeah.
So we had to have a meeting with those coaches. I thought it went okay. We really had to talk things out, and I thought it went okay. And apparently it did not, because then those coaches left and took 10 clients with them.
Good God. It was like every day after that was like, so the mass exodus happened.
It was an exodus. It was a full-on exodus. We lost our two morning coaches, had 2 afternoon coaches.
2 morning, 2 afternoon, 10 clients, where we weren't bringing anything to begin with.
Yeah.
And I remember coaching a class. I remember coaching a 9 a.m. class and just opening my phone up and just scrolling and seeing all these defect. I'm like, am I saying that right?
They're crossing the DMs.
Yeah. I was like, oh, great. We just lost 8 more people.
Yeah. And a gym that was like,
we had 30 people to begin with, maybe.
Yeah. I think we bottomed out around 40 or 50.
40 or 50 is where we bottomed out at. So it's like,
it was a big loss. And we lost experienced coaches.
Very experienced.
In the early morning spots. So it's like, okay, here we go.
And we had just talked about like how many 515 classes we were going to have to coach, and it was like 0.
Yeah.
And you know what? Now there's 0 coaches for 515.
Yeah, it was just Brody.
Well, Brody wasn't even coaching 515.
He was coaching 1 class a week. It was like I think a 9 a.m. on a Saturday.
He was coaching the 9 a.m. Saturday class. Yeah. That's it. And maybe a row class.
And he stepped up in a huge way when that happened.
It really did. Brody was the first one to come on and really get re-involved in such a big way. That was the first spark of a culture change in the early morning classes. And then I'm trying to remember, did you go on immediately with Brody?
Right on. He was Monday through Wednesday. I did Thursday and Friday. And
that's right.
I picked up Wednesday, Thursday afternoon, Thursday morning, Friday morning.
Ooh,
right away.
That's right.
That
was a heck of a friggin' schedule.
Yeah, it was a stretch, especially with the other job. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. But it had to be done. And honestly, like at the end of the day, it was probably the best thing that could have happened for this gym,
Oh, it definitely was.
It really, at the time, it felt like, man, what have we gotten ourselves into?
I know. We're taking L's every day.
Every day, taking L's. Like,
just getting kicked between the legs,
every single day. And we just kept.
And there was no power either.
Oh, we didn't have electricity.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a whole nother podcast, I think. Yeah, we didn't have electricity. We're in this space, and we're just trying to keep it all together. It was nuts. And we leaned hard on Brody, and he was such an inspiration. That's kind of when I knew, like, we're going to be all right. Like, Brody's got our back. We're going to be fine.
Yes, that was such a reassuring feeling.
Dude, it was like, big brother's here.
I know.
We're going to be okay.
Okay. There's like a little bit of the first sign of a breath was when he stepped up and realizing what the passion he brought, the experience he brought,
he's been doing it forever. He's been doing it forever.
He didn't lose. I never really took a lot of Brody's classes. But just seeing the difference, all right, of the tone he took and what did we have? There was probably 1 to 2 people at the early morning slots.
It was
at that point.
Yeah, 2, and they both left and brought clients with them.
But I'm saying like the clients that were here at that point.
Oh, the classes? There's like 5 or 6 people in the class.
At best.
Yeah, in each of those classes. Yeah.
Like I remember some days where like 0 people were showing up.
Yeah. I would come on 5:15 and there were 0 people. Oof. This is tough.
Yes. And the same thing in the evening classes too. But like those mornings really where it started to, and then Tyler got brought on.
Yeah, he came on like, I don't know, maybe another 6 months after that, 7 months after that.
Yeah. And then slowly like that culture shift really happened to the AM slots where classes started growing.
Yeah. And again, I said that this was the best thing for the gym because it forced me straight into a consistent coaching spot.
Yeah.
I had to show up and be great every single day. So like, I just took it really seriously. I did my homework. I knew exactly what I was going to do before I got in the door. And I've stuck with those habits ever since. And it has served me really well. It forced me to be a good coach. Like, okay, I'm in charge. This is our gym. I have to lead the way here. So like, I just gave it my best every single time I walked through this door. And it really, I don't know what it would be like if that hadn't happened. Like it would not be the same. It would not be what it is now.
No.
And certainly my coaching wouldn't be where it is now.
And that's such a good point to bring up because, everybody has this in their life where, right, there's an unknown thing that happens, life event, circumstance that comes up. And on paper and even living it is horrible.
Yeah.
Definitely not ideal. But through that adversity, and this is something that is met every single day you walk into any single gym, right? Anytime you face adversity, that's where growth happens.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened to us through that adversity. It was like, here's a hard like line, we got to cross it. And there's an unknown on the opposite side of this.
Yep.
Dive in head first. And through that, that's where the spark started, start and turn. And then, now we're starting to get momentum.
Yep.
Like coaching gets better because it's forced to be in a position where we're showing up every single day at a certain capacity, leading the charge, right? That's where there was a major difference between how you started coaching at that point too. And Keith brought this up where I remember being at work with him the one day and I was still only doing, I think, the 9 a.m.s. I still wasn't even coaching the 8 p.m. slots. So it was 1 slot a week. I was shadowing a few days. And I remember Keith saying, he's like, how's the gym going? And I was like, or whatever I said, and he's like, can I give you a piece of feedback? Right. This is coming from Keith. And I'm like, sure. And he's like, when Bryan coaches, he's the guy. We all know he's the guy. He leads the room. He knows what he's going to say next and everybody follows it. Even if he's messing it up, we don't know that. Seriously, that's a great assessment to have.
That's good.
And he goes, when you're there, he's like, dude, and that was like such a feeling, But again, that was like that needed to be said.
Dude,
because I went home that day. Oh, first of all, that was a horrible shift to work after hearing that. And you're like, we're just going to triple seat this kid all day.
I'll show you, Keith.
Yeah, how's it feel now? I'm in charge now.
Yeah, you sat there waiting.
Yeah. Kid probably made a killing that day, though. So joke's on me. But I remember like going home and being like, you need to really step this up. And then that's shortly after I started doing the 4 p.m. classes and no one was really showing up to those. Even if I had one person, though, it was a completely different mindset of I'm going all in now. It has to be an all-in moment. And what you did early on in the beginning took me a little while to step into because it was a confidence level in the beginning. I had this way before. This goes back to my, days of being a complete degenerate of just like a inferiority complex, or better word than that would be a imposter syndrome.
Sure.
So
that's a real thing. It's a real thing.
And like,
sometimes.
Right? Yeah. And like that was a real thing because it was like, you don't have any formal experience, but it was all me in my own head.
Sure.
And it's I'm living in everybody else's, but they're not having those thoughts, right? Yeah. So again, things that happen in life, but it's breaking past that, making a decision. You did that early. You got prepared. You went all in, where I was still like teetering on this fence, and then you hear that and you're like, Jesus, I got to change.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, it all had to happen as it did.
And then
look at you now.
Now we're doing it. We're still learning.
Oh, yeah. This is just like fitness. There's no finish line.
No.
No matter how good you get, no matter how strong you get, there's always something new to learn. There's always something to get better at. And that's the best part of this. It's exactly like education, playing an instrument or perfecting any craft that you want to do. It's like, there's no end. There's no finish line. We're just going to keep going and getting better.
Yeah.
Like, that's the goal, is to just keep getting better.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
And it's great to see all that development in this short amount of time, if you want to look back at it. Like, we haven't been doing this a while. The gym, yes, JSA has been around since, back in the day, whatever. But like, this is a brand new venture for us, And then over this past year, right? That first year was just L.
Every time I turned around, you're taking it out.
Yeah.
Every time.
The anxiety I had about this place.
Yeah, it was stressful.
We're losing money.
Yeah.
We're not going to survive.
I know.
We just made the worst decision. Then we go to the winter time, and I got nothing to fall back on, right? So now there's time, though, to lean into here.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, now we're starting to get even more serious with, like, changing the gym culture, setting some systems in place. We're really trying to, like, I think we ran our first event over the summertime, but it wasn't until the fall where, we start getting some new members, our first few members joining, right? It felt like, don't latch on them too hard, but don't let them leave either.
Don't let them leave.
You gotta stay.
Yeah.
But then it was like, there was more of a relaxed vibe, right? Because seriously, it all started with that adversity we faced in the beginning, the AM classes being changed. And now there's people showing up.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it could have gotten much worse. Like, it was pretty close there. We were touch and go for a minute.
Yeah, well, the much worse would be closing the doors, which was like, we didn't even talk about, there was like another person that came up on here that, we were going back and forth with. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens, But like, programming needed to change. Then we changed programming. Once programming changed, I felt a little better because there was consistency with the course, with how we started doing things.
And the workouts are fire right now.
They're so much better. There was a lot, and there were so many people. Well, you should do this. You should do this. You should do this. And we're just like, yeah. And then it's like, well, what do we want to do?
Yeah. That's really what it had to happen. We listen. It's good to listen. Like, people have good ideas. It's always, but if you try to make everyone happy, no one's happy.
Nope.
And we're last on that list.
Oh, every single freaking time. But then all those pieces, like the big pieces, started to get put into place. Yeah. Now we're starting to see new signups. Now we're developing these new signups. Yeah. We're like, hey, there's some people that have never touched a weight in their life.
Yeah.
We had people that did, but never did CrossFit. We had every single, on a scale, we had everybody on that scale.
Just as it should be.
From fire breather level to never picked up a weight.
Yeah, which is
now great. They're here, now coach.
Yep.
And watching that development has been so cool to see. And it's honestly my favorite part about being here is watching somebody come in with no formal experience, having, being afraid of even coming in here to begin with, because there is a stigma about what CrossFit is and what it will do, and you'll get injured, and it's just a cult, which kind of is. But,
it's a good one.
It's a good one. There's we serve healthy Kool-Aid here. Did you meet my friend Jim? But just watching that, it gives you the ability to show you that you are capable of way more than you ever thought you were capable of to begin with.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. And then watching that happen to then where we are. I mean, 15 people at 515 today. There's 15 people at 5. It's crazy.
Yeah.
How many? You 515ers are outrageous, by the way.
We love you.
A lot of respect to anybody getting up at 4:45 to come work out at 5:15. But the energy in those classes are so high.
Yeah. Yep. And there's so many good athletes, and everyone's just cheering each other on, and everyone has different strengths, and on any given day, someone's going to catch you on a workout. Like, you don't even see it coming. It's the coolest thing ever.
Oh, it's great. And you're watching people that, again, zero background, never done this before, to now a month later, they're starting to be able to get a kip motion. Their power cleans are not looking janky anymore. I did my first toes to bar for some people a couple months in. Like, it's like watching that development for me is so cool, and being able to be a part in somebody else's growth and development that's where it really hits home for me.
Yeah, dude, that's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool to see these people get stronger and better and learn different things. the look on their faces when they accomplish something they want to accomplish is just like priceless. It's the best.
And that's worth more than any dollar value paycheck you can ever get in life, because you're giving somebody something, or you're not even giving them something. You are allowing them to tap into what they've always been capable of, but have never push themselves to ever do.
Yeah, we show them the door, but they're the ones walking through it.
They have to walk through it.
Yeah, they have to walk through it, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah, and then seeing that on a full send, where, little Emma's doing double unders. Like, what? Yeah. Like, that's so cool. Yeah, you badass.
Nice job, Emma. That's sick.
And that's everybody in here,
Everyone's got stories. That's cool.
It's so cool to see. So really this whole thing, we had a vision where we want to go. We still are on that path, but this is something.
There's no finish line.
Way bigger than, again, just these four walls in the gym, because we could have gone down any single path in our lives, but we came here for a specific reason. Again, what that reason wasn't clearly defined at the beginning, but it's definitely becoming more defined now, which is there's an awesome culture and vibe here. And I know community gets thrown around a lot, community, but what is community actually defined by? It's the culture and the camaraderie that is inside, any place. It doesn't have to be just this gym. It's like if you're, working out somewhere or it's across the country, right?
Yeah.
It's showing up every single day, pushing yourselves with the people next to you, right? Again, you talked about that when we were at the garage gym, that the vibe, it's not quantifiable.
Yeah.
The electricity that you feel, like that. Just watching last night, two guys were, the 5 o'clock class, whatever, it was Justin, Mike, and they're competing with each other.
Yeah.
That intensity that they're pushing is not going to be had if it's just one person by themselves.
No.
So just the act of two people getting together to go into a workout, you're getting way more out of it than you would by yourself, because that energy is there, the camaraderie is there, and that there's a healthy level of competition. I mean,
and it's not, and you worry about that getting to be like this arrogant, like fire breather status, but it's not like that at all with our people. They're always cheering each other on. When they have a great day, they're the first to celebrate. When you have a terrible day, they're the first to pick you off the ground. Like it's like an ecosystem.
It really is.
It's cool.
And that's the one thing I talk about it a lot too. Like anytime a new client comes in or somebody's wanting to get involved in the gym, we can talk programming all day long. Listen, you can buy programming, on your own and work out by yourself. The programming at the end of the day isn't the end all be all. And the coaching, right? That's where we really hammer, like the coaching, that's cream of the crop for us. But really at the end of it, and the thing that I'm most proud of and love to be involved with is the culture and the community of people that we have here. Because like you said, there is nobody that thinks they're better than the next person, that is putting the next person down. It is, if you're a first timer in here, you guarantee any single class you walk into, majority of that class, if not everybody in that class, is coming up to that person and welcoming them. Yeah. Like, how awesome is that?
It's the best.
And just seeing that happen in the morning classes, the 9 a.m. classes, the 5 to 6 p.m. classes, like I love that.
Yeah, this is our tribe.
It really is.
These are our people, and I love you guys.
Yes. And we've taken on a lot of new people, and just to have that big chunk of people come in here, right, where they were previously at a different spot.
Yeah.
So that could have been a weird vibe, right?
Yeah, that was the big concern. Like, we're going to have two little cliques here, our gym and their gym, right?
Yeah.
But they just immediately were so friendly with one another.
Yes.
They fit right in with everybody else. It was really so nice to see.
It's such a great, like I said this 1,000 times later again, it's just a great gathering of people that we have here. Everybody meshes well together. It's an awesome place to be, and it's the best part of my day is being here.
It doesn't feel like work anymore. In the beginning, it felt like, man, this is work.
It felt like survival.
Survival and work. I just love being here. It's just the most fun to be in this room, even when I'm not coaching, like working out with everybody. It's just the best.
It's great. Love it. Couldn't have asked for anything better. Yes, this is a freaking heck of a, this ain't easy by any means, but it definitely allows you to, when you have bad days, right? The best thing about that is you can come get a workout in and work through those emotions and those thoughts in a very healthy way. It's a great outlet. And that's what I was looking for to begin with, I didn't have an outlet.
Yeah.
I had a whole background of, drinking, drugging. Then it was, getting clean and sober. And it was like I hit this point where I was at the 2-year marker where I was ready to murder someone. I felt like I was like, I can easily just strangle someone. And then just like, all right, let's move on. What's for dinner tonight? And it wasn't a healthy spot to be.
Yeah.
Because there was no outlet. There was just a bunch of like talking about, all the things that I had done wrong in my life before. And then it was, coming into here for the first time, like it was a massive relief. I was like, oh my God, like this is where I can put all this energy to.
Yeah.
And that was such a huge shift for me, a monumental shift in my life where I was like, this is what I need. And that was honestly the full send buy-in moment of like, I don't care what they're serving in this place. I need to be here.
Yeah, there's not a lot of things where like you put the phone away for an hour and you're just locked in for an hour. Like the whole world gets to shut out for 1 hour of your day, and there's not a lot of things that you can say that you can do that with. And I think that is just so important. It's crucial for our physical health, our mental health, our spiritual health, to be able to just shut it all down, go hard, and then recover afterwards. It's such an important part of the day.
It really is. And that sets you up. It really it nerfs the world, where, I can, any given moment, right, we all get wound up in our days and our lives. Like life is hectic, right? Especially, jobs, kids, bosses, things to do. There's so much going on.
Business partners.
You love me. But then you come in here, right? You can to your point, right? You can get all that stuff out, and then all that noise just gets dulled.
Yeah, everything gets a little quieter.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so important to do. It's such a healthy spot to be, outlet, people to be around. And then just being able to be here and doing with people that you enjoy being around.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Love it. I'm so happy that we took this venture on. I'm excited for what we have coming up next. This is also the first time too that we're actually planning out well in advance what the next 6, 8, 12 months are going to look like.
I know. What a relief that is now. It's no longer like, okay, let's just make it to tomorrow. Like, okay, what's the next event? What's the next this? And it's finally like we can start focusing on big picture stuff. It's fantastic.
Which is great because we have, right, the kids program that we're going to be starting in January 5th. We have a launch coming, or an open house event December 13th. That's a Saturday. I kept posting 14th. December 14th is a Sunday. Saturday, December 13th. So we have the kids event that we're starting, right? We're really excited about that. Already got a whole bunch of signups from there. Really looking forward, to run that.
Have a bunch of kids running around here.
It's gonna be good. Next generation SFPers. Let's go. And then the events that we're planning out for the future too. There's actually another one I want to talk to you about. We're not going to do it live on camera yet. Stay tuned. But things that we have set up for the future, where I'm just really excited about. And like, there's almost every week, there's some new inspiration idea that I have where like, we need to do this. And you're constantly bringing stuff to the table. So we're in a spot right now where growth seems exponential.
Yeah.
And there is the ability to properly plan and execute for these things.
Mm-hmm.
5 P's just jumped in my head. Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
They got you.
Yeah, they sure did.
They got you.
Hook, line, and sinker, baby. Comes with gravy, cheese, and broccoli. That's an inside one.
Bring it back.
Yeah, here we go. But really, this has been great just to recount where we come from. How we got here. That neither of us have came from a large fitness background. I ran in high school, ran in college.
Nothing.
We met surfing and then working together, and we've had an awesome friendship from where we first started together, and just like growing through that together too. And like, this is, there's nobody else on planet Earth that I want to be doing this with. And I truly mean that, this has been such a rewarding adventure. And it's honestly, of course, there's times where I'm sure you want to like dunk my head, you know?
Yeah.
And I can definitely, I'm just like, I look at it's such a punchable face. Such a punchable face. But there's so much like, at the end of that, it's really like, I feel like I'm doing this with my brother, and like, that's the truth of how it feels. Yeah. So it's like, I know it's always going to work. And there's never a day, even on, which we don't have bad days, but even on like the worst day, where it's just like, I don't not want to do this anymore. It's like, And we always find a way to make things work. Like this relationship has been so healthy for the both of us, from how we've attacked it from day one to how we even met to begin with to where we are right now.
And we see things differently, and I think that's a net benefit.
It really is.
It might take us a little longer to accomplish whatever the goal we're going for, but we know that it's going to be in a better spot because we're seeing it from different, through a different lens. And I think that's healthy for a business and for our relationship.
Oh, it definitely is. Because I really appreciate how you view things and how you bring it to the table, even if I don't agree with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like
sometimes I don't.
And same here. But then I get out of my own way and I look at that and I'm like, the guy is right.
I do the same thing, and I'll fight it, and I'm like, no.
That's right. Well, look, we've done it though, and it's worked. So the way we've done things back and forth is really, it's healthy, it's great, I love it, and I really like having opposing views on certain things. Not to the point where we're clashing, because we're never like that.
No.
Maybe during a workout, but that's about it.
That's definitely it.
Yeah, that's how it all started, baby. So, fun little fact.
Let's finish up with this. Go ahead, share it with
finish with this.
Fine people.
We were working out for years, right, over at JSA.
Yeah.
And we were working at the 9 a.m. And in my note section of the phone, I would write down the workout, and if Bryan won or if Kyle won.
I had no idea this was going on, by the way.
And I was doing this
unbeknownst to me
for well over 2 months. And there was a point where the win column for Bryan was getting a little too hefty, and he ate me alive. It ate me alive. So we started working out.
It has since swung the other direction, just so you know.
And I was just seething at every single workout. I remember him looking at me one day, he's like, "What are you doing, man?"
So hard, dude. You have a heart attack trying to beat it.
Yeah. You can't win. I can't let you win because I have a note section, and I don't even know when I told you this. It was a while later.
It was a while later. I think you were keeping this note for a year.
Yeah.
I had no idea it existed.
Yeah.
So some friendly competition.
Well, I can't. You're such a better surfer than me, and you always will be. And your surfing style is so good.
Oh,
it's great, man. It's so fluid. It's effortless. And I talk about this with Danny and Ben and even Brendan, where it's just we'll be in the water together and just the sets flow to you. And I'm like, whoa. And then you're just poof, and then the style that you have is so fluid. It's really operating in the moment. It's so good. So it's I'm never going to be on that level. And it's not something I'm ever looking to compete with you on. I'm always taking notes from you and all that stuff too. But in here, this is the level playing field, baby. The barbell doesn't care. It doesn't care. It doesn't care what color you are, how much money you have, what background you come from, what's going on in your day-to-day life, what your bank account looks like. You pay the iron price, baby. Can you ante up today? Let's go, Bryan. So with that, that's
episode 1
of the Swells and Barbells Podcast. And this episode is brought to you by Air Squat. Are you getting low enough? I think every episode we do, we'll pull one of those in.
Yeah.
All right?
Oh, that's fantastic.
So for all those of you at home, whether you're in a gym or not, ask yourself this question, and are we scaling appropriately? Till next time, I've had a whole bunch of fun today, and I can't wait to get back on here again.
See you next time.
Bye.
See you in the gym.